The rain came down in sheets, turning the cracked asphalt of Route 66 into a mirror that reflected nothing but gray. Jake Harlan's pickup coughed like an old smoker as he eased onto the shoulder behind the motorcycle. The bike was a matte black beast, but its rider was slumped against it, one gloved hand pressed to a bleeding forearm. The storm had swallowed the last of the daylight, and the only light came from Jake's flickering headlights and the distant neon of a diner sign half a mile back. He killed the engine. His daughter Lily was asleep in the booster seat, her stuffed giraffe clutched to her chest. Jake hesitated only a second. Single dads don't get the luxury of second-guessing, then grabbed the first aid kit from under the seat and stepped into the downpour. The biker looked up as he approached. Water streamed off a scuffed leather jacket and a helmet that hid everything but a pair of storm-gray eyes. "I'm fine," she said, voice rough, but the blood seeping through her fingers told another story. "You're not," Jake said. He knelt, unzipped the kit, and tore open a gauze pack with his teeth. "Hold still." She watched him work, silent. The cut was deep but clean, road rash and a slice from the guardrail. He cleaned it with saline, pressed a pad against it, and wrapped it tight. His hands were steady. He'd patched up Lily after more playground disasters than he could count. "What's your name?" he asked, more to keep her talking than anything else. "Doesn't matter," she winced as he tied off the bandage. "You always play hero on deserted highways." "Only when my daughter's asleep and the diner's out of pie," he offered a tired grin. "Jake, and you." A pause. "Alex." The name felt like a half-truth, but he let it go. Thunder rolled overhead. Lily stirred in the truck, murmuring something about unicorns. Jake glanced back then at the bike. The rear tire was shredded. "You're not riding that tonight." "I've got a room in Flagstaff," Alex said. "I'll call a tow." "Cell service has been out since the canyon." Jake stood, rain plastering his hair to his forehead. "Look, I've got a spare room above the garage. It's nothing fancy, smells like motor oil and regret, but it's dry. You can crash till morning, figure out the bike then." Alex studied him. Most men would have lingered on the curves under the leather or the mystery of a woman alone on a Harley. Jake's eyes stayed on her injury, then flicked to the truck where Lily slept. Practical, kind, exhausted. "I don't do charity," she said. "It's not charity, it's me not wanting to read about a biker bleeding out on tomorrow's police blotter." He shrugged. "Plus, Lily makes a mean pancake. You'd be doing us a favor." A ghost of a smile. "Pancakes, huh? Blueberry from scratch." She looked at the bike, then at the storm. "Lead the way, single dad." The Harlan house sat on the edge of Willow Creek, a small Arizona town where the biggest news was the annual chili cook-off. The garage apartment was exactly as advertised. A single room with a hot plate, a futon, and a bathroom the size of a closet. Jake carried up a space heater and a stack of clean towels while Alex leaned against the doorframe, helmet tucked under one arm. Lily, now wide awake and vibrating with curiosity, tugged Alex's sleeve. "Are you a superhero? Daddy said you got hurt saving the world." Alex crouched, wincing. "Nah, kid, just bad at corners." Lily's eyes widened at the blood on Alex's jeans. "Daddy fixed you." "He did." Alex glanced at Jake, who was wrestling the heater's cord. "Your dad's pretty good at fixing things." Jake snorted. "Tell that to the dishwasher." They ate pancakes in the kitchen, Lily chattering about kindergarten and the class hamster who escaped twice. Alex listened more than she spoke, but her silences felt deliberate, like someone cataloging every detail. When Lily yawned mid-sentence, Jake scooped her up. "Bedtime, Captain." "5 more minutes," Lily pleaded. "3," Jake countered, "and only if you let Alex finish her pancakes in peace." Alex watched them disappear upstairs, the easy rhythm of their negotiation. She hadn't been around kids in years. The last one she'd held was her niece, before the boardrooms and the billions swallowed her whole. Jake returned, wiping his hands on a dish towel. "She's out. You need anything else?" "I'm good." Alex stood, testing her arm. "You didn't have to do this." "Yeah, I did." He leaned against the counter. "You remind me of someone." "Who?" "My wife, before the cancer." She had that same look, like she was carrying the world and pretending it was a purse. Alex's throat tightened. She debuilt empires on steel nerves, but this man's quiet grief cracked something open. "I'm sorry." "Me too." He pushed off the counter. "Guest room's yours, towels are clean, yell if you need anything." She watched him go, then climbed the stairs to the garage apartment. The futon smelled faintly of pine cleaner. She sat on the edge, pulled off her boots, and stared at the bandage on her arm. Jake's hands had been calloused but gentle. No agenda, no recognition. Alexandra Voss hadn't heard her real name spoken aloud in months. Morning brought sunlight and the smell of coffee. Jake was in the driveway, tools spread across a tarp, examining Alex's bike. Lily sat cross-legged nearby, helping by handing him sockets in the wrong order. "Morning," Jake said without looking up. Tires toast, but the rim's salvageable. I can patch it enough to get you to Flagstaff. Alex descended the stairs, hair still damp from the shower. She de-traded the leather for one of Jake's old flannel shirts, too big, sleeves rolled to her elbows. You don't have to. Already started, he straightened, wiping grease on his jeans. Besides, Lily's decided you're her new best friend. She'll riot if you leave before noon. Lily beamed. Alex said she'd teach me how to draw a motorcycle. Alex raised an eyebrow. Did I? You will, Lily said confidently. Jake laughed, the sound rusty but real. Kids got you pegged. They worked side by side, Jake explaining the bike's quirks while Alex asked questions that revealed more mechanical knowledge than she let on. When the tire was patched, Jake stood back. She'll hold, but you should get a new one in Flagstaff, and maybe a new helmet. Yours is cracked. Alex touched the helmet dangling from the handlebars. It was custom, worth more than Jake's truck. Sentimental value. Sentimental gets you killed. He met her eyes. Promise me you'll replace it. Something in his voice, steady, protective, made her nod. I promise. Lily tugged Alex toward the house. Pancakes round 2. Over breakfast, Alex watched Jake cut Lily's pancakes into perfect triangles, listened to him negotiate screen time with the patience of a saint. She saw the frayed edges, the stack of bills by the fridge, the way he flinched when Lily asked about Mommy's picture on the mantle. The diner paid enough for rent and groceries, but not both. The garage was a side hustle that barely broke even. When Lily went to color in the living room, Alex cleared her throat. You ever think about expanding the garage? You've got the skills. Jake shrugged. Need capital. Banks laugh at single dads with spotty credit. What if, she stopped, Alexandra Voss could write a check that would buy the block? Alex the biker couldn't. What if you had a partner? He looked at her, curious. You offering? Maybe. She traced the rim of her coffee mug. I know a guy who knows a guy. Jake's smile was sad. Appreciate it, but I'm not looking for handouts. It's not a handout if I get equity. She leaned forward. You fix things, I invest in things. Seems like a fair trade. He studied her for a long moment. You're not just a biker, are you? Alex's heart stuttered. What makes you say that? The way you hold a wrench, the way you asked about torque specs like you've done it before, and he gestured at her hands. No calluses, not from riding anyway. She looked down. Her manicure was ruined, but the skin was still soft. I used to race, amateur circuit, gave it up when, she trailed off. When life got complicated. Jake nodded, accepting the half-truth. Complicated's my middle name. Alex stayed another day, then another. The bike was fixed, but the storm had washed out the road to Flagstaff, or so Jake claimed. Lily had a fever, or so Alex claimed. Neither pushed the issue. They fell into a rhythm. Mornings, Jake at the diner, Alex at the garage with Lily supervising. Afternoons, Alex on the phone in the apartment, voice low, speaking in terms that made Jake's head spin. Seed funding, Series A burn rate. Evenings, pancakes, stories, Lily falling asleep on the couch between them. One night after Lily was tucked in, Jake found Alex on the porch staring at the stars. She de-traded the flannel for one of his old hoodies, sleeves pushed up, bandage gone. The cut was healing into a thin pink line. Penny for your thoughts, he said, settling beside her. Inflation's a bitch, make it a quarter. He chuckled. A deal. She was quiet for so long he thought she wouldn't answer. Then, I run a company, big one, the kind that makes the news when it sneezes. Jake whistled softly. Tech. Clean energy, batteries mostly. The bike's my escape hatch. No one recognizes Alexandra Voss in leathers and a helmet. He turned to face her. So why tell me? Because you didn't ask. She met his eyes. Everyone wants something: money, connections, a photo op. You just fixed my arm, made me pancakes. Let me read Goodnight Moon 17 times without complaining. Jake's laugh was soft, Lily's persuasive. It's not just her, Alex's voice dropped. I've got everything, Jake. Private jets, penthouses, a foundation that gives away more in a quarter than this town sees in a decade. But I haven't had a home-cooked meal that wasn't catered in years. Haven't laughed until my sides hurt since God I don't know when. He was quiet, processing, and the partner thing. Wasn't a lie. I'd invest in your garage in a heartbeat, but I'd rather invest in you. The air between them shifted, charged like the storm that had brought her here. Jake reached out, brushed a strand of hair from her face. Alexandra Voss, huh? Alex is fine. Alex, he said it like a prayer. What happens when the road opens up? I don't know, her voice cracked. I know what I'm supposed to do, go back to boardrooms and galas, but I don't want to. Jake's hand slid to the back of her neck, thumb tracing her pulse. Then don't. The kiss was inevitable, soft at first, then deeper, tasting of coffee and rain and the promise of something real. When they pulled apart, foreheads touching, Alex whispered, "I'm scared." "Me too." The road did open eventually, but Alex didn't leave. She stayed for the garage expansion, funded through a shell company Jake never questioned. Stayed for Lily's first day of first grade, holding her hand while Jake took pictures. Stayed for the nights when the diner was slow and the bills piled up, when she cooked spaghetti from a jar and they ate on the porch because the kitchen table was covered in spark plugs. There were fights. Alex's world leaked in paparazzi at the diner, a tabloid headline screaming "Billionaire's biker babe." Jake's pride bristled at the checks she tried to write, the way her security team hovered. But they talked, really talked, about grief and fear and what it meant to build something that wasn't measured in dollars or horsepower. 1 year later, the garage was thriving, Harlan and Voss Customs, a neon sign glowing above a shop that restored vintage bikes and built electric prototypes side by side. Lily had a new mom who taught her to change oil and balance a checkbook. Alex had a family who called her on her bullshit and loved her anyway. On the anniversary of the storm, Jake closed the shop early. He led Alex to the spot where he'd found her, now marked by a custom bike painted Stormcloud gray. The seat was engraved, "For the night you let me fix you." Alex traced the letters, eyes shining. "You know I can buy 1,000 of these." "Don't want 1,000. He dropped to one knee, pulled out a ring made from a repurposed Harley piston. "Want one with you, forever if you'll have us." Lily bounced beside him holding a sign, "Say yes, Alex." Alex laughed through tears, "Yes, God, yes." The wedding was small, diner staff, garage crew, Lily in a dress covered in motor oil smudges because she'd helped with the bikes that morning. Alex wore leathers under her dress, a nod to the woman who'd ridden in from the storm. Jake wore his best flannel. As they danced under string lights in the garage, Alex leaned into him. "Think we'll make it?" "We already did," he spun her, dipping her low. "Storm S over, Alex, time to ride."